What's up, guys? Evan Almighty 23 coming at you with I believe week 16, and this is a great game that I played I'm playing the Broncos here, going through showing you guys the roster, but this is a really good game. And my last game versus the Redskins was a great game, but I think this one might possibly even be a better game. So sit back, relax, and just enjoy the game. I don't really have a topic necessarily to talk about, so I'm gonna go on some random topics in sports because the majority of my subscribers like pretty much all the main sports: baseball, basketball, football, even throwing soccer, and all that. You guys like the main sports, so I'm gonna talk about sports today, just some of the sports news, and talk about all that. Well, first I just want to talk about the NFL Combine. As you guys may know, Manti Te'o, big story around him because of all the scandal with, everything that's happened with him. His 40 time was, I believe, 20 out of 26 or 28 linebackers. It was he was far in the bottom half of the linebackers' 40 times. So his 40-yard dash was definitely not that great, and that just turns more heads, and more people are saying, whoa, this guy just is not going to have what it takes to be a 3-down linebacker. Now, a lot of people may look and say, yeah, I'll be a good linebacker, but they're doubting that he can really be a 3-down linebacker and really rush the quarterback because of the speed factor and all that. Yes, he had less time to train. He did have less time. He was in the national championship, so he got less time when more guys, I'm sorry, the players that weren't in the national championship got to train during that time, but I don't think that's strong enough of an argument. I believe he just had a bad 40 time, and maybe, he's just not going to be the player everyone thought he was. And, a lot of people think, he was playing, well, I believe this too, he was playing motivated because of his story, but then it turns out that story was really a lie. So now, people know and are just, thinking about, if he's really going to be a force in the NFL. And, he's going to be able to play, but will he be successful in the NFL? And one thing I did not know, and this is pretty crazy, I didn't know much about Vic Ballard when he was coming into the NFL, but I saw some of the Colts games. I definitely saw when they played the Browns. Vic Ballard, is a great running back, and he did, a good job. But I didn't know he had a great season, for one of the top rookie running backs. He just did great. Totally unexpected because he actually, I didn't know this, he fell. I found this out yesterday. He fell in his 40-yard dash last year during the combine, and that must be just heartbreaking, all that work he put in to fall on the 40-yard dash. But he did fall, and that might have made some teams take him off their board. So the Colts might have got him with a steal because they don't really know what his 40 time is when they oh, look at Reggie Bush taking it to the house. But they didn't really know what his 40 time was, not all the teams, because of him falling on the 40-yard dash, which really is disappointing. And I did hear that Manti Te'o is not lifting in the combine because he has an injury or something to his shoulder, something like that. So that's even another question about him. He's not lifting, so it's hard to see his strengths. Yes, there's other drills that they can look at, but still you can't really see his strength because he's not lifting in the combine. So that's another difficult part about it. And I'm not sure. I know there was either record breaking or close to record breaking 40 time. I know someone really turned some heads with a crazy 40 time. I haven't been paying too much attention to the NFL Combine. But I would like to pay attention a little bit more. I've been watching on ESPN2, the show that they have, and they talk about each team in the NFL and talk about the combine, talk about players, that teams might be looking to take and all that great stuff. But Another thing I do want to talk about, let's go to baseball, because as many of you guys know, spring training is started up, and all teams are getting ready for the season. And I don't know if you guys know this, but Curtis Granderson on the New York Yankees, in his first at bat in spring training, actually broke his I can't think of the exact. It starts with an A, I believe. But he broke like his forearm. I think it was his forearm. It was a bone in his arm, but he broke it, and he's gonna be out. I think 4 months. I could be wrong. I know it's a long recovery time, so his season will definitely be shortened, and it's gonna be hard for him to rehab because he can't lift, he can't hit for months because he's gonna be recovering from this injury, which is huge because he had a really good year last year, and that's really gonna hurt the Yankees big time because he's a great player, but they always seem to have a lot of good players, so they should be able to have. I'm not sure who their backup center fielder is, but if I got any Yankees fans, just tell me who is your guy's backup center fielder. And I did also want to talk about the Miami Marlins. There's been a lot of talk about them. They cut their payroll, and all the fans are unhappy because they don't really have any stars anymore. They traded away their stars, and they're trying to almost have homegrown talent and not really go off guys past, and just they don't really have any big names basically on their roster, and a lot of the fans are upset about this. And their ticket sales have gone down. I remember last year that they were talking about how the Miami Marlins were having a lot of trouble selling tickets. They had expected to sell out almost every game last year, and they ended up almost the opposite, not selling out barely any games. They had a difficult year last year, as a team and as a business. It was tough for them, and I would like to see them succeed because I hate to see teams fail. But their ticket sales, I guess their season ticket holders were cut in half. So their season ticket holders last year were already near the bottom of the league. I believe they had I'm not sure how many they had last year, but this year I guess they only have a couple thousand. Maybe it was 5,000, but I guess that's near the bottom of the league. I'm not too into the ticket sales and all that. I just learned all this from watching ESPN the past couple days about this whole situation. That's usually where I go if I don't know too much about a situation or something about sports. I'll just go check it out, and ESPN usually has pretty good coverage on all sports, except there is one thing I can't. Oh my God! 1 second, Joe Hayden, look at that! Woo, man, that's crazy. Oh, by the way, I've been upgrading his catching, and I believe I got it catching up to the mid 80s. So next year I'm gonna try to get a lot of picks with him. So next season you're gonna be seeing a lot of Joe Hayden. Hopefully, let's cross our fingers and hope. But yeah. Anyways, back to what I was talking about. I want to talk about SportsCenter, and this is something that randomly popped in my head, but I need something to talk about anyways, and we're talking about sports. I think this is a good time to address this. So basically what I'm going to talk about is whenever there's a big, story, I just realized it's like a big sports story, and I feel like SportsCenter, when they have nothing to talk about, maybe it's like the bad part of the year in sports, when not a lot's happening, after football's over and basketball's over, and it's the middle of baseball season, and baseball season is just so long, there's not always a lot happening. I feel like when there's a big sports story, that's all they talk about all day for a couple of days on SportsCenter. Is that just me, or because I've talked to a couple of people and they've totally agreed with me on what I noticed about that. When something big happens, they just talk about it for a long time. I think they're getting better at it. They used to talk more about certain topics, talk about certain topics way too much for long periods of time. But I just especially when Mike Vick got in trouble for dogfighting. That was a long time ago, but I remember that whole week, that is pretty much all they talked about. They had those Sports Center specials, and that is all they talked about. And it's like the news too. When there's a big story, they will just keep showing the same footage over and over and over again. Like for Mike Vick, I remember they just had the the cops walking around his house or whatever, and then they'll show him walking. That's like they only had a couple of little short video clips that they had to show you, and they just show like some dogs or whatever, and that's all they showed you. And it just gets so dry to see the same footage over and over and over again. And it's just something random that pops in my head, but I've always noticed that about the news sometimes, but really overall just Sports Center. But I've realized Sports Center got better with that. They really don't talk about certain subjects for too long. But this is a good time to go, look at the gameplay, because it's tied 38-38, pretty high scoring game. I got the ball with about 4 minutes to go. It is 3rd and 11, and right here I am dropping back to pass, and right here, who did I hit? Yep, I hit Josh Gordon across the middle for a huge gain. That was a huge play for me. Now it is 2nd and long, and right here I complete a pass to Greg Little for a 1st down. So I'm driving downfield, and we are at the 2-minute warning. I'm running some draws, and this is the point in the game where I have to decide, do I want to waste clock or score right away? So I just saw an opening, and I took it. I was like, I'm not going to waste clock. I'm not going to pass up on a touchdown just to waste clock. So I just decided to be safe and take the touchdown. So now, it's under 2 minutes. I got to get a stop. I got a sack here. Now it is 3rd and long, and I need to get a stop. Playing some okay coverage, but he is still able to complete a pass across the middle. And he was doing a pretty good job in moving the ball on offense this game. And right here, man, it's snowy weather. His guys are slipping on his routes. That it's not probably the best situation for you on offense, to try to be passing in this weather, because your receivers just can't run the best routes. And right there, oh man, my cornerback slipping, and maybe it's some bad users on my part. Right there, I'm sitting in a blitz. It is 2nd and 10. So we got about 40 or so, about 45 seconds to go in the game. He's trying to roll out to the outside. I get him from behind. So now it is 3rd and 5, and he has to convert here. And he drops it. Now it is 4th and 5. He needs to complete this pass, and he does, across the middle for a touchdown. So right here, he's trying to go for 2 to win this game, or at least put it away for a little bit, and he does. So he gets the 2-point conversion. Now I have to score. So that doesn't mean he's gonna win. And I took that kickoff back real far, and right here I hit Greg Little across the middle for a touchdown with very little time left on the clock, and I get the 2-point conversion. So right here, oh man, he's dropping back to pass. Can he get anything? He does complete a pass, but there is 6 seconds to go. He has to throw it up, and he throws it up, and it is picked off. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Hayden Nation. Until next time, peace. I told you Joe Hayden catches everything.